Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem of the Crypto, episode 212. Today is Tuesday, July 24th, and I'm King. Bitcoin Zay is still out of town, so hopefully we get him back. If not, we will see him soon. What's going on, Clove 71? Hello. Gia Rodriguez, hola from Amsterdam. There you go. Nice little place to call summer vacation. What's going on, Antonio? Let everybody come in. As we're waiting for everyone to come in, we will announce the free Bitcoin winner from yesterday for those free Satoshis. The winner was Crypto Night. Crypto Night says Coinbase is, we were talking about the political action committee. They said their first act will be to make a donation to 2020 presidential candidate John McAfee. While I doubt Coinbase would suddenly go in that direction, I think that would be awesome if we did see Coinbase's PAC decide to back John McAfee and have him run and hopefully win for president, so the crypto space can come out of the dark ages. So thanks for that, Crypto Night. We'll be sure to send you those free Satoshis. Christopher Ladd, hola. S1 Dubs, what's going on? S1 Dubs said he'll put out APB on Zay. Yeah, go ahead and do something. KH, hello, Game I Peep. Good morning, everyone. All right, so as always, or I won't say as always, but starting off this week, we saw kind of end of last week, the news cycle slowed down. Again, as we stated before, when Bitcoin starts to rise again, the news cycle slows down because it can't keep pumping FUD. I literally saw a story about 15 or 20 minutes ago said this Bitcoin expert or whatever, his hedge fund manager, said Bitcoin may hit $8,100, $8,100, and I looked up at the price and it was already at like $8,240. So it's not a lot of articles when the price is doing well. That is until it hits that 12 to 13,000 plus range, because then it's the hype train and it's everybody talking about how they always knew Bitcoin was a success. So right now we're in that middle ground where it's not going to be a lot of news. But good news for crypto in general, $300 billion. Cryptocurrency market cap hits major milestone as Bitcoin soars. The cryptocurrency market crossed a major milestone Tuesday, surpassing the $300 billion mark for the first time since mid-June, amid growing optimism that the Bitcoin price is entering a new bull cycle. So again, this is great news for the market. We know we started seeing those numbers getting hit repeatedly last year, where the overall crypto market cap was just increasing. You remember, if you do remember, some of the regulators who first came out and said, hey, this thing isn't real. Is it even worth a few $1 billion yet? Then it was worth a few billion. It's not worth $100 billion yet. Then we got to $250 billion. And now we are at $300 billion, $0.3 trillion, in other words. And again, the main number we want to hit is $1 trillion market cap in the crypto space, because that is when it's really going to be real to a lot of these big companies and big banks. But until then, the positive about it is that this time all the cryptocurrency, which kind of influenced and made that influx of the $300 billion, then go all the way toward Bitcoin. A lot of new altcoins are out there. A lot of ICOs were launched last year. A lot of projects are live, some are dead, but that's where some of that money's coming from. So it's good to see the rebound right now. U.S. Chamber of Commerce calls clarity on ICOs. I read this story, and I tell you, I love this story. It looks as though the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is interested in initial coin offerings as a way for companies to tap capital, but only if they're regulated, that is. Basically, this article is just going into detail about how this new initiative that's come out wants to promote new and innovative ways to access capital, such as initial coin offerings, while advocating for tailored oversight and strong consumer and investor protections. Again, is that protections for consumers and investors? No one knows what to do with their money or how but the government. They're the only ones who can tell you how. Entrepreneurs know all too well how difficult it is to raise capital necessary to start or grow their business. The Chamber continued, we urge the SEC to continue studying ICOs to see how they can be an effective tool for raising capital while protecting investors and ensuring applicable laws are met. We also urge the CFTC to study how cryptocurrency is functioning in the futures and commodities market. In both cases, we urge the agencies to regulate the products and services enabled by the technology instead of the technology itself. Okay, here is the thing about this. Sounds awesome, right? For those who don't know the doublespeak of the government, it sounds awesome, but we are here to help you sort through the word soup. Basically, it's pretty interesting that the Chamber of Commerce has come out and said that they hope this new initiative will help promote new and innovative ways to access capital, such as initial coin offers. That way is already there. That way already works. It's been working now for a few years. However, they say they want this initiative to promote it, although they want it to be regulated, which is doing the exact opposite. And of course, they're saying it's for the consumer and the investors themselves. So it doesn't make too much sense. What I really read when I see this is, of course, we want an ICO marketplace, and we want more ICOs to launch. That's why they call for clarity. They want as many ICOs to launch as possible. And the reason why is because they want to tax it, or they want to license it, or they want to regulate it to the point that people launching the ICOs have to pay the government two ways. I guarantee it's going to be two ways. The first way paying the government is going to be a license. Hey, you need this license now if you want to launch your global ICO, even though the money you collect from Kazakhstan has nothing to do with the United States government. But hey, we want you to get this license here to launch your own ICO. And then once you launch it, the government wants to have access to your wallet so they can know exactly how much money you made, and they can take their 20 or 30% off the top before you even get down to business on working on your project. That is why they want to regulate. That is why they want this new initiative to quote unquote promote new and innovative ways to access capital, such as ICOs, even though these new and innovative ways already exist with or without the United States government or any other world power government, that is. You don't need a government for this stuff to work. All you need is a cell phone, laptop, and a good idea, okay? You don't, at this point, you don't even need a working product. Cell phone or laptop and a good idea. You don't even need how to write a good white paper, right? Just put a couple of paragraphs of what you plan to do, who your team is, how you plan to do it, and anyone in the world can send you money. So again, it's kind of interesting to see the government stepping in this way as they have done, and they're just trying to continue to destroy markets. I'm going to call the U.S. government the Thanos regulators, because just like that, they can scare everyone into a corner and make them do their bidding. So it's pretty interesting. John Siebert, what's going on? Gayan Singh Rathore said Digibyte is booming right now. Digibyte's a decent coin here and there. SEC delays decision on asset managers Bitcoin ETFs until September. All right, so this is a huge story floating around on Telegram and some of the other crypto websites and news influencers and all that good stuff. Basically, what's going on is that a lot of people were expecting some type of ETF decision in August possibly, but the U.S. SEC came out and said they're going to delay making a decision. They weren't saying that for all ETFs. They were saying it for one ETF in specifically, which is one that was filed by Direxion Investments in January. But again, people, there's been so many ETFs filed. I mean, the Winklevoss twins are some of the first people to do it. Theirs keep getting denied. Honestly, I think if an ETF was approved, it would be the Winklevoss twins' ETF first. If not theirs, then there will be somebody who's already been on Wall Street, like Goldman Sachs, or one of these people who already has their capital management fund or bank already set up and working with those regulators, so they can just segue into that. But if it were just somebody out the crypto space, I would see the Winklevoss twins getting it first. So this thing, it wasn't saying that, hey, no ETFs are going through. They're specifically talking about one investment company. But regardless, it's one of those things where they can try to wait out as long as they want. First of all, you don't need a Bitcoin ETF, but of course people want it because they want their risk protected, their downside protected, even though they still don't realize ETFs are for retail investors, the mom and pops, who still don't realize if they get these ETFs, they get into this business, this becomes a big market, which I'm sure will, because as we've seen with the traditional fiat market, when you have derivatives and you're boxing up these credit scores and default loans and all these different ways to sell you money, no one's buying the actual money. So it's the same thing with Bitcoin and crypto here. You can buy as many ETFs as you want. You can buy as many future contracts as you want, whether you're shorting it or going long. If you don't own the underlying asset, in this case, which is Bitcoin or some of these other cryptocurrencies, then it means nothing. But again, from a business perspective, kudos to the US SEC and as well as other companies trying to offer ETFs, because they know the regulators will have their backs, because they will literally trick the masses into buying these and giving them their hard-earned money while the people behind the ETFs actually go out and buy the Bitcoin and keep the Bitcoin themselves. So you talk about the next, well, I won't say the next big financial crisis, but let's think another 10 or 20 years down the line after this next one that's coming. The following one will be because of things like this, where people sunk their money into Bitcoin ETFs or Bitcoin futures and crypto this and that, and it's like, well, you didn't own any of the underlying assets. So If that company folds or goes under or just decides not to pay you, there is nothing you can do about it. But again, ETFs will bring about the retail investors, which is going to bring a lot of money to the crypto market, of course. So that's always a good thing. A lot of money, and a lot of activity in general. Confirmed story. We reported about a month or so ago, TRON was in talks to acquire peer-to-peer platform operator BitTorrent. For those who don't know what BitTorrent is, it is basically like Internet 2.0, where you can just surf, download, and do anything basically without third-party intervention, that third party being the government. But BitTorrent protocol came out in 2001 and relies on distributed seeding by users who upload shareable content. And what basically happens is that in order for you to download content, it's like you have to kind of give to the community. So you have to upload content as well. So I upload 3 free movies, and I have enough seeding capabilities to download, 10 movies or whatever. And that's just one of the ways it's a decentralized sharing economy. Or as Justin Sun, founder of TRON, called it, the genesis of the decentralized movement. I won't say it's the genesis, but it's definitely up there. Because if you're talking about the genesis of the decentralized movement, I mean, we had to go all the way back to LimeWire for those who remember LimeWire during the dial-up days. That's when music you first started downloaded LimeWire, and the other one I forgot the guy off of the Facebook movie made. So yeah, definitely it's not the genesis, but it's definitely a step forward in the right direction. Fed the Realtor said Justin Sun should have been in the 40 under 40 list. That's true. Justin Sun definitely should have been at 40 under 40 list. John Siebert said, if it's open source, how can they own it? You know what? I haven't done my due diligence yet, but that's one of the questions I had as well. If it's open source, how do they own it? Not sure how that's going to work, but it looks like in general, you can see here BitTorrent is the first decentralized internet protocol with large-scale global application, which even today retains its status as the world's largest decentralized protocol, once transmitting 40% of daily internet traffic. That's huge. But it looks like Justin Sun over at TRON is saying that BitTorrent and TRON, the teams, are going to be merging into one. So again, as you said, how are they going to be decentralized after this, or open source after this? It's going to be hard to tell. But basically says, hey, we're going to use their technology. And of course, we're going to use our coin on that technology platform. And if they do this the right way, I mean, this could be huge for TRON. You're looking at, we talk about Brave browser all the time, and Brave has the BAT tokens. And a few other browsers, or a few other, even Binance has the BNB token. Exchanges have their own tokens. Well, if somehow Justin Sun could put his TRON, the TRX, on BitTorrent and make it some way where you don't have to use it, but you get rewarded for using it, that can be huge for that company. So that's big. Thanks, Fred Realtor and Kevin Hodges. Napster, yes, Napster and LimeWire to me were some of the first truly decentralized internet platforms out there that had a global application. Though at the time, not a lot of people had computers, or even was, computer or internet savvy enough to use it. Those things were huge. S1 Dove said it won't be decentralized anymore. On to the next. Listen, it wouldn't catch me off guard. It kind of reminds us of, GitHub was just bought by Microsoft. Same thing with that. Everybody was like, well, that's the end of that decentralization, open source project there. So same here, but hey, the good news is that it's the market, people. And it's kind of like the banks who are going to be left holding the bag when they buy the exchanges. Let these big companies buy the GitHubs, buy the BitTorrents, buy all this stuff out there. The people who create them, I'm sure they've been working underpaid and overworked for many years. They deserve that paycheck. But the market will speak again, and somebody else will just create a new one. So that's the good thing about it. When Craigslist came out, you had Craigslist, you have Angie's List or Angel's List, you got Backpage, or you had Backpage. You had Silk Road, then they got rid of Silk Road. You got 10 other sites just like Silk Road out. So it's a good thing that, they sold it, great, because people now pay attention to it. And then hopefully, again, the market will speak, because you're a developer out there and you love BitTorrent and you like what it did. Get a team and create a new one. This one's been sold already. So it looks like it's an open market for a brand new one to be made. So yes, Torrance J Playlist said the feds killed Napster like they are trying to kill Telegram. The feds did kill Napster, but the baby's birthed from the Napster, I can't say generation, but those Napster and LimeWire years. When I look at some of these sites all the time where people download stuff, it's always funny when they do have like a pay click, because a lot of the people on the sites are like, you know, I haven't paid for music or whatever since the Napster days or since the LimeWire days. Like, I'm not gonna start now. Like, some people, that's all they know is to just download music. So they tried to kill it, but they couldn't kill it because you know, it's still an idea in people's head. Marcel's Love said, are they pushing the ETF decision to September? That is what they're saying. They're, you know, to go back there, they're saying they're pushing the ETF decision until September. We in-house had some of our price points looking at during the mid-August time frame. But regardless, you know, regardless, whenever they do it, I think just the interest in it was going to continue. Like, one of the next stories we have, which kind of hits on that, make sure, yeah, is another $1 billion blockchain fund to launch for government backing. This is a Chinese fund. I'll just go into the story. Another Chinese city is launching a fund worth over $1 billion in order to support the development of blockchain-focused enterprises. The district government of the Jiangbi New area, I might have said that wrong, I probably did. Nanjing City announced a plan to launch a 10 billion yuan, around 1.4 billion blockchain fund last Friday. The project will be funded through a public-private partnership, according to a report from Xinhua News Agency. Now, the thing about this story, how it kind of relates to the ETFs, is that they could already launch an ETF, people. They're not doing any more market research, none of that. That doesn't even matter, okay? They're okay with just doing it and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and if it breaks, fix it, and vice versa. We saw that with the futures market. I mean, they literally came prematurely, but they came out because Bitcoin was soaring. They had to jump on it. So it's the same thing with the ETF market right now. I think they're holding off on making an announcement. Again, you know, we first started getting worried about ETFs last year around March 2017. I think when the Winklevoss twins first ETF went up. And since that time, I think we had one in June. It was another one that tried to do it. It was one in like August, September. So literally we saw about 3 or 4 of these decisions come out last year. No, 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 no. And again, this year, it looks like it's the same thing happening. And the reason why is because they're trying to figure out, they know as soon as they launch the ETF, that price is about to go up, people. The price is going to skyrocket, all right? The U.S. government is basically saying this is okay for mom and pop investors to get into. This flood, open the floodgates. But they don't want to do it until the good old boys and girls, until everyone they know has a foot into the crypto market. And when I say a foot, I mean actually half their body where they own half the market, which we're seeing with banks and places in cities in China where they're putting $1 billion toward blockchain projects. This money is coming in for a reason. This is the second project here, or the second city here, where they're adding over $1 billion to just blockchain related enterprises and projects. None of these governments are stupid. Our government isn't stupid. They're corrupt, but they're not stupid. So again, that decision on delaying the ETF has nothing to do with any of these companies. The Winklevoss twins has their ducks in order. It's about delaying it as long as possible so as many of their wealthy friends can get into crypto. And once that's happened, you'll see these ETFs come out. I mean, just looking at the charts today, you know, if you go to CoinMarketCap, we talked about this before. This time last year, I mean, on an average day, you could see gains anywhere between, on average, 20 to 40%. Same with losses, but if you know how to time it right and trade, you probably were taking lower losses and higher gains. But today, you look at some of these charts in the last few weeks, it's literally 6% here, 4% here, which in the traditional market is still a lot. But for us, we know that's not. So they are trying to tame the market as best they can before they release these ETFs. Because if they were to say today, all of a sudden, hey, ETFs are legal, you can do this, we're going back to those 20 to 40% gains overnight, if that, if not higher. So something to look at. S1 Dub said corporations are buying exchanges. It's so funny because the value starts to decline before the ink on the contract is dry. That is true. It is pretty funny. Marcel's Love said they're buying Bitcoin over the counter. Exactly. And that's why we're not always seeing it reflected in the price, or we do see these price spikes out the blue the last basically 72 to 96 hours. It's because, yeah, some of these bigger corporations, bigger investors, and all those folks are buying over the counter. You know, we met a couple of people out in LA who literally, you know, they sell to people who, like, higher level executives that work at Google. So we're talking about $1 million+ a buy, and they're doing all that over the counter. We won't even see that on CoinMarketCap, that being reflected. So John Siever said Wiki BitTorrent is open source license. Maybe it's only the trademark. Oh, okay, possibly. Hope so. Seb R said, I keep hearing the sentiment that before you invest in altcoins, make sure you have 1 Bitcoin. Yes, that is the sentiment that should always be pushed. There's not enough Bitcoins for every millionaire in the world. I mean, the altcoins and stuff, I mean, those are specific projects, and almost all of them have shown some major flaws in them for the most part. So with those projects, the reason why I say that, there will always be another one. There will always be another altcoin project, no matter how awesome it is. Whereas right now, we're not seeing another Bitcoin. At the end of the day, you can say whether you like it or hate it, whatever, Bitcoin has been here the longest and has not had any issues as far as being hacked. As far as, you know, we did see the network get clogged, but that might have been due to some trolls working with other altcoins. But in general, Bitcoin's been around for a while. It's showing growth. It's still showing growth. So if you don't have one full Bitcoin, especially at the price it is right now, then yeah, you probably want to hold off on buying altcoins unless your game plan is to trade altcoins so you can have more Bitcoin. That's the only time where it's kind of a little bit different. So something to think about. Last but not least, meet Honeyminer, the app that lets you earn Bitcoin with a laptop again. For those who don't know, we actually did a brief Honeyminer intro about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago in our digital assets group. So again, if you're in that group, these are things you get ahead of time. And I mean, right now we're seeing it. Today's the 24th. They're just now putting this story out. Actually, I'll try to go on there and see if I can see where we posted it at, exact the date on there. But yeah, so for those who know, new mining software promises to let almost anyone earn small amounts of Bitcoin with a Windows laptop, giving users a taste of the cryptocurrency's early days, as they said. You know, they say revealed exclusively to CoinDesk, a New Jersey-based crypto mining startup Honeyminer has already launched its free beta in June. Again, we had that and has garnered about 10,000 downloads across the globe. It allows users to participate in dynamic mining pool by running the app when the computer graphics processing unit isn't in use processing images or video. So again, it's another way to put your computer to use to earn some money mining. So pretty cool app so far. Again, there we go. Sorry, my internet didn't want to load up. But here we go, June 26th, our Honeyminer app. So literally we put that out about a month ago, and CoinDesk is just now getting the story, people. So if you aren't in our digital assets group, you are missing out. Here are some of the tutorials we have up with WireX app, Honeyminer, Bancor, Bitcoin ATMs, BitMEX margin trading, the bigger one. We got about 2 of those up. So a lot of good stuff in our digital assets group. If you haven't already joined, highly suggest you do, because you can get literally news a month before it comes out and learn how to use this new technology before it comes out. That's what our group is about. It's about teaching you how to use this technology and harness it so you can use it for some of your own trading or you know, investing needs in-house internally without having to go out and about. So make sure you check it out. Do we think the app is worth it? Too early to tell, honestly. Way too early to tell. And Antonio hit the nail on the head. I was just about to say that. They need to launch it on Mac as well. You know, I don't have a Windows computer, or not anymore, so I haven't had a chance to really dig into it deep. But I mean, it's one of those things we'll see. It's another company. I'm sure they'll have competition come toward them soon. But until then, something new and novel. So, John Sieber said, once the over-the-counter market dries out, it could potentially affect market on exchanges. I don't think the over-the-counter market will ever dry out, honestly, because there's a lot of people who don't, especially doing the bigger transactions, they don't want people to know how they're moving their money, how much money they're moving. I mean, I can tell you that. I know a lot of people actually in crypto or in Bitcoin who kind of make these in and out trades and changes over the counter because they don't want to be on paper with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or anything else. So there we go. Antonio said WireX is awesome. I use their payment cards international. Boom. That is nice. All right, for the free Bitcoin today, what's some of the stories? Let's see. Some of the stories. TRON, no. Yeah, let's go back to our government. Gotta love our government, right? Let's go to our government and Bitcoin ETFs. If the government were to launch a Bitcoin, yeah, Antonio said over the counter will become even more popular. In fact, if the government were to launch a Bitcoin ETF, which company or people do you think will get it first and why? Let's exclude the Winklevoss twins. I already said them. I do think the Winklevoss twins will be first. Excluding the Winklevoss twins, who's next up for a Bitcoin ETF? You know, just tell us in a couple sentences who and why do you think. It could be somebody who's already applied for one, maybe somebody who hasn't, but a firm that's getting bigger. I can already think of 2 other companies in the space who, you know, they were to launch an ETF. I can honestly see them probably getting it before a lot of people. and then having that first movers advantage in that market. So something to look at. Come on, Antonio, you're a moderator. Save it for everybody else. All right, yeah. Thanks, Chloe. Smash that like and share. As always, thanks for watching, people. We will see you tomorrow on Hump Day. Until then, happy Tuesday and happy trading out there for all those in the market right now. Cheers.